I don't have an intro for this series yet, but basically, I'm going to talk about Toku with these three people. Introduce yourselves.
Hey.
Sup? I'm Ace.
I was going to say, they don't have names.
I'm mad.
I am the unknown soldier from the... No, I'm Dose.
He's constantly dying, actually.
Thanks, Snake.
It's called Flux. It's not dying, it's Flux. I'm in a state
No,
of
it's
flux.
constantly dying.
I'm alive and dead at the same time.
Schrodinger's dose.
That's an amazing way to start this.
Yeah. Anyway, Kamen Rider Ex-Aid ended like a week ago, and we're going to talk about it because been doing a lot of Toku on this channel, and might as well do a regular series that hopefully, unlike a lot of the other things I've tried to do regularly, actually is regular. Because with other people being a part of it, they will make sure I get on it. Also, I don't have my regular recording mic because I'm too lazy to get it. I'll do it next time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ex-Aid.
Games!
Video games and doctors.
I remember when we first got it, like, the first image of Ex-Aid.
It was
level 2 vinyl.
Yeah, and everybody was like, that's gotta be an alternate form, and it kinda was, I guess.
No, it was either, that's gotta be an alternate form or that's fucking fake.
Yeah, although I didn't see a lot of the fake, because, I don't know. But mostly it was just, that's gotta be an alternate form, and I guess technically they weren't wrong.
Yeah, they weren't.
Would have been some shit if the vinyl of the level 1 was the first thing we saw, though.
Oh my god.
Remember the hate of the fact that there, A, was not compound eyes, and B, the color scheme. But see, here, I'm the oldest person that they know. I'm from the 90s. So the fact that it was hot pink and neon green, I was just like, oh, my childhood! My childhood!
Even without living through most of the 90s, I've been exposed to so much of it that I was like, I'm okay with this. It's weird, but I was okay with it.
Yeah, no, like, we saw it, my first thought was, I don't know how to feel about this. Then we got level 1 and I went, I still don't know how to feel about this. And then the show started and I'm like, okay, this is amazing.
Yeah.
When I saw level 1, I was like, oh, I can deal with the other thing, because this is just, he's a child.
I like how immediately when level 1s were revealed, everybody was like, I wonder how long it'll be before they stop using these, just like the masked forms in Kabuto.
And then, freaking, they technically never did?
I mean, they stopped.
I mean, they did kind of stop using it.
They stopped in like the mid-20s, and they didn't come back until the second to last episode.
Yeah, they were like proceeding to level 2 as soon as they transformed. So it's like,
You know, unless you want to count Maximum as a chibi, technically.
because, I mean, there was a reason behind it though. They weren't.
They were
the
rather
bugs-
bulky.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the beginning, the whole purpose of level 1 was to separate the virus from the human host. Whereas once they got later in the series, they were strictly fighting the already formed bugster, so they really didn't have to use level 1 at that point.
Yeah, and I like that they gave a reason for the level 1s existing. They didn't really do that with the masked forms in Kabuto. Like, realistically, I feel like an organization making rider armor like that would either have those be the only forms, or if the rider form existed, you wouldn't have the masked form.
Yeah.
No, okay, so, not talking about Exy here for a second, so feel free to cut this from the final recording or whatever.
It's gonna be.
Apparently, the mask form is the bulkier, more defensive form.
Yeah, no, that was painfully obvious. That
Oh yeah,
No.
but the...
No, like, it doesn't have the advantages, but it can take the hits better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
with
meant
the
for,
whole...
like,
used it
large
against Ruby.
hordes of worms.
Yeah, with the whole clock up thing, I feel like higher defense is less of a priority.
Oh yeah, no. It wasn't well thought out, but apparently that was the reason.
Yeah.
Either way, I preferred the way they did the level 1s, because it had a reason to stick around regularly.
Yeah.
And then after it vanished, they brought it back again.
In the greatest way possible.
Yes. Baby fight.
They were like, okay, we have to separate Game Deus and Dan.
Oh,
well,
man,
the level
that
ones.
big, we haven't used in 20 episodes.
I remember seeing people on Tumblr and a couple on Twitter that were like, I wonder why they brought back that thing that had no bearing on anything in the beginning. And I'm like, it was actually really important in the beginning and quite necessary near the end.
I don't think any one of us expected them to bring them all back.
No,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
It
no.
was pretty genius. That's what I'm saying. It was like, way to incorporate, you know, nostalgia into your final episode as well.
Yeah.
It does make me question one thing.
Hmm.
Does Proto Mighty Action X Origin and the second Boxo bike not have level 1s? They have the giant face on the back for it.
They might have level 1s.
Well, Boxo Bike was technically just an upgraded or just an upgraded
Version of the other Boxo bike.
laser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was laser turbo. It was just an
Yeah,
upgrade.
no, but it has the face on the back, which
Yeah, his level 1
implies
was
that
the
there
same
is
form.
a level 1 for it.
I'd imagine they have level 1s.
Because it makes no sense. He takes out a Boxo bike and puts in another one.
Why not?
Double
Why didn't
the
you go
bike.
double Boxo?
Because nobody in this show thinks and what's a budget.
Yeah. I do wonder what that suit would have looked like, though. I'm just glad we got...
Laser turbo with the level 3 chest plate, probably.
I'm just glad we got Bakuso Bike Ex-Aid.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
I just realized that for this I'm gonna have to go through probably a bunch of like... go through and grab a bunch of screenshots for stuff like this. Shit.
I would draw you things, but I ain't got shit for drawing supplies right now.
I mean,
It'll
a
be
lot
larger.
I can just default on to just showing the X8 art that's the
Yeah.
thumbnail that you made. But for stuff
Yeah.
like Bakuso Bike X8, I'm gonna be really stingy and I'm gonna need to find an image of that. But it's probably on screen right now because I'm keeping that in too.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Who needs professionalism? I don't. If my
What was
channel
the,
if my channel was professional, I would have done this a long time ago.
What was the form used in the movie with the weird
Which
wing
one?
tips? The one who turns into like a Gundam.
Which one?
The white one.
That's descriptive.
The white one for
Look,
X8?
he had like a
Oh,
jet
that's Mighty
thing.
Creator.
Okay.
He can literally make things with his mind.
For a moment, I
Okay.
actually forgot Mighty Creator existed, and I was about to say, I don't think X8 had a movie form.
Yeah, it's Mighty Creator, and it's one of the best damn suits in this entire show. With the greatest ability
eyes
set.
fuck with me.
It's basically
Surprise.
Cronus X8.
Yeah.
My favorite
Right, so
thing,
you give me like okay.
my favorite thing
You
about
know,
that movie
actually not.
is how it's an advertisement for PSVR, but VR is the villain for a good portion of it,
They
and
just
only
suck.
becomes good when X8 is like, I'll use VR to stop VR.
Hey, okay, so we want you to advertise our PlayStation VR. Oh, okay. Immediately makes it the villain.
Don't worry, we'll give it a form too to save the day. Sony's
Don't
like,
worry, we'll stick a PSVR and an X8 helmet and paint over it.
Good enough.
Somebody's like, okay.
I am half convinced that's actually what they did.
I'm not sure if if y'all saw the post, but there was this. I was watching this show called Dark Matter, and there was this scene where they were scanning this dude's brain. The guy was sitting in the chair using a PlayStation VR. It was obviously a PlayStation VR. This is supposed to be like in the year like 3124.
Glad to see PlayStation survive that long.
So,
Yeah.
I was like, way to go, prop department.
But yeah, X8 has been a wild ride.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Nico and Taiga's budding relationship.
Yeah, I still am not totally on board with the romance thing, just because the way
Oh
they
yeah, no, they definitely feel more like brother and sister.
yeah, the way they act feels more like siblings, but at least it's not like a really creepy romantic relationship, if it is
Because
one.
they're both at least adults.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not like Taiga's 40. So
Yeah.
So
No, he's only 31.
yeah.
does Nico technically own Gim Corp?
Yeah, no.
She
No,
doesn't
no.
own it. She just has. She's the major
Majority shareholder.
Yeah, she's the majority shareholder. She can tell them what to do. Technically, she doesn't own the company, though.
Poor Tsurugi.
Yeah, right now I think it's the dude that made Bozo of Terror is the owner right now.
Tried. You mean Juju Burger? Bozo
Well,
of
oh,
Terror
well,
didn't happen.
He did Juju Burger, but he did Bozo of Terror later.
Yeah, no, but that technically didn't happen. There was no good shot. It never worked.
But he developed it. It was an idea he had. Onari, the video game.
So do
Yeah.
they just keep making good shots now, and they have an actual game system, or
They
No, they've always had one.
They
like
im-
in Go Rider, it's not canon, but the point stands. You can see the console there.
yeah, they implied in the first episode that the Gashats were not only the transformation devices for the gamer driver, but they're the actual cartridges for the
I'll
games.
say he
Yeah.
played Mighty Action X in the first episode.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I remember seeing a post on Tumblr talking about the finale about Nico investing in GemCorp, and they were like, so she's investing in the company that was like evil and all this shit that GemCorp did, and I'm thinking,
No.
as I finished it, I'm thinking, you're aware that GemCorp is an actual game company, correct?
They make video games. They just had
Yeah.
a really asshole president twice. 3
Yeah.
times.
Yeah,
I just forgot Ren was a thing, and I fucking drew him in a
I'll say
thumbnail.
Rip Lovlika.
He was
Re-
semi-important.
He was
so
something.
good. The best thing that he gave us is that gif of him spinning,
Yes.
which hopefully I can find to put in this video, because that's my favorite thing ever.
I wish the actor that played the human form had stayed around a little longer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
I like how they had his death, at least for a little while, affect Parad.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude had PTSD for like 3 episodes.
Holy
Dude
shit, that
got
could have been
king
me.
prisoned.
Can you imagine how fucked up he must be now, considering Parad died twice? And one time Emu literally just murdered him, so...
Yeah.
God, that was a
The guy
a rough episode.
he just wanted to play with.
Yeah. That's
Fucking murdered him.
Having killed like 12 people prior. But, you
that's
know,
one of the darker episodes of Rider in general, because it's like, oh, this show about, video games and whatever. Here's an episode about how everybody fears death, and you should too.
Oh look, the villain's finally gonna get something he deserves. Oh wow. Oh. Yeah, just put him out of his misery, man. Jesus Christ, quit toying with them.
Yeah, I was watching it and I'm like, Emma's gonna, pull his punches right at the very end, right? No.
No.
Holy fuck.
Dead.
I do
Oh,
like how the
God.
very next episode he fooled everybody into thinking, hey, I can't transform anymore.
Whatever shall I do?
Whatever shall I do? Okay, how about I reveal that I was fucking with you all this time?
Oh, mighty brothers.
God, Emma, you're such a shithead by the end of this show.
I do like how they made Mighty Brothers what brings Parad back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Mighty Brothers was as relevant as it was for as
yeah.
long as it was.
Yeah.
They're like, they bring up Muteki, and you're like, well, there goes that. Oh,
No.
Even when they brought out Maximum, I was like, we're not gonna see Mighty Brothers ever again.
No, we're gonna keep seeing Mighty Brothers because it's a lighter set of suits.
And then you compare it to like Boost, and they just immediately forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, Ghost was just bad in general.
Oh yeah, but even so, you know how just the whole, oh my god, my dad
Whenever-
is fighting with me. Dad.
Whenever Ghost got a new power up, his last one was just totally forgotten.
Yeah.
To the point where after we got Grateful, we got him using Grateful almost completely for like 5 or 6 episodes, and then one episode he uses Ore, and I'm like, it feels like it's been forever since he's used that. And it was.
Granted, I will give Ghost this. That is literally the logical conclusion. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have this super strong form. Why don't I just go right into it?
Yeah, realistically, it makes sense to default into your strongest form, but in a series where the drama matters, it just kind of kills everything.
I mean, in that same regard, they still fucked that up anyways, because then that
Oh,
one,
yeah.
like after he got Mugen, that one episode where he was like, I think the spirits feel bad. Let me pull
Yeah.
out fucking Grateful against these enemies that definitely need Mugen.
I love that because that whole episode was about how basically him realizing, oh, I maybe should use those other forms, and he never uses them again anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, come on.
Alright, yeah, we just started rambling about Ghost in the middle of an Ex-Aid talk.
Look what happens!
well, I was
it
gonna
had
make a point that I guess
something to do with it.
technically Emu did use that logical jump as well, because when Kronos became the main threat, he always just immediately jumped to Muteki.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, considering that for good reason, because Kronos can just pause everything,
Yeah.
Pose.
and with Muteki being the only thing that can move during that, it's the logical reasoning. When there's an actual in-story reason beyond just it's the strongest one, then I can usually forgive defaulting to one suit.
Yeah. Can we talk about
Alternatively,
that final fight for a second?
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
when he paused and he was like, haha, you cannot turn into Mateki anymore because, and then Amy was just kind of like, nah, see,
gotta
like,
believe.
The final fight was the whole thing was so good.
yes.
Honestly, probably one of my favorite fights in all of Rider.
Oh, yeah,
Just
it
hit
was
every
pretty
fucking
great.
note.
Yeah.
We even got Dan doing a continue Rider kick.
Delayed continue!
That was such a
everything,
good episode.
everything Dan did was fucking amazing.
Even
Dan was the best damn character.
even Kiria, while they're like tag teaming, they're like, he instead of calling him Danny, he says,
Kamina!
yeah,
Get him,
yeah,
God!
Get him, God!
they were very playing off each other. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that the end of the show got a lot of Dan and Kiria banter, and I hope there's some of that in the Laser versus Gem thing
That's it.
before they start just kicking each other's ass.
I'm hoping that was just essentially entirely lighthearted one where they just fuck around the entire time, basically.
Until like the last 5 minutes, and Dan's like, "Oh shit, I'm supposed to be killing you."
Yeah, basically.
It's just a full hour of Kiria killing Dan, like when he was developing Dr. Mighty.
But he only has 1 life left.
Oh well.
Don't worry, he'll find a way.
Yeah.
If the trailer for the trilogy is anything to go by, then it might not be the same Dan.
No, it might be the one that's apparently backed up into Proto Mighty.
Yeah. You saw
Let's go,
Curdy's
Rider
theory
Dan.
too.
Purple Proto Mighty. Have to specify that.
Yeah. The one that Gem actually used.
I'm actually
In the-
sad he didn't use that in the final episode for that fucking delayed continue.
Yeah.
Have all the original base forms there.
There might be a reason. Like I think I
The purple
think
Mighty
I remember
doesn't
seeing
exist anymore.
well that, but also I remember seeing somebody saying that somehow the level 0s are supposed to be a little bit stronger than level 2s. That I don't know how that
Alright.
works, but
No,
whatever.
actually, since we are on the internet here, I can go look on the TV Asahi site to get actual confirmation.
It was
What
pretty
about
good.
them being stronger?
Well, the
Yeah.
official stats are weird
No,
because
no,
according to those,
the thing
because
is, they don't matter in crossover movies whatsoever because everybody's as strong or as weak as the plot demands them to be. They
It's the
usually
new-
matter within the show.
the new toys are the strongest.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad that they didn't use Perfect Knockout or Poppy in the final fight. Like that was kind of the point that they went with the OG5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the only thing that I was kind of disappointed with Poppy is just that her rider form doesn't show up all that often, and
Yeah.
mostly I'm just mad because I like that suit.
No, that was a really good suit. And I'm still convinced its shoulder pads are just retooled versions of Braves.
They probably are.
Even then, I see a lot of people complaining about, obviously Poppy doesn't do much because Kamen Rider is sexist, but first of all, she is very important to the story, but her rider form, Poppy doesn't really strike me as somebody who fights
She's
a
not
lot.
fighter, yeah.
Like, mind-controlled Poppy, sure, but
No,
regular
even
Poppy,
under
no.
mind control, she really didn't fight that often.
I
And when
know,
she
but
did, she
she's
stuck to range so people couldn't get close to her.
I think she's more inclined to fight when under the mind control.
Yeah.
Alright, so I have the stats up for Gem level 2 and what TV Asahi labels as Kamen Rider Gem Action Gamer Level 0 Proto Origin.
Jesus Christ.
Because we can't make the names any longer.
Alright, so I'm just gonna look at the kicking and punch power here, which apparently only applies to finishers, but this gets the point across. Level 2 is 5.7 tons of punch and 10.2 tons of kick. Level 0 is, hit the specs button again, 22 tons of punch and 28 tons of kick.
Huh.
Shit.
So
Well, I guess there's
They are
that then. The
actually
level zeros
stronger.
are stronger.
so the
And there's no punch or kick whatsoever listed for Laser Bike.
let's go into a list of character issues. Like is Kiria still a Bugster or is he?
Yep.
Yes.
Is
Yes,
he
he's
like?
still a Bugster.
But is he like?
Kiria and
is he
Dan
like
are both still
Parad?
bugsters.
I was gonna say, is he like Parad, where he's like half human, half Bugster?
No.
No.
No, no,
Full
no, no,
Bugster.
He's full Bugster.
Okay.
The thing is though, something I wanted like right from the start was see an actual Bugster form for Parad, and now extend that to Dan and Kiria.
Well, see, with Parad,
You might be able to count Dan and Kiria's rider forms as their bugster
No.
forms technically.
No, shit. They had to have a little bit of human DNA in them for the belts to work.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right.
That's why I made that question, because it's
Yeah, no,
like,
they're hybrids then.
yeah.
Yeah, that just occurred to me.
I'll say they're brought back humans anyways, not just, you know,
But
Yeah.
they are
full-on
mostly
created
Bugster.
Oh yeah,
Or-
but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like they were,
Whereas, Graphite was totally Bugster, which is why he had a Bugster form. But the other three were halflings, so they didn't get form.
I would say fucking Parad was also a, he was never complete to begin with, so he probably couldn't like access one fully or some shit like that.
Although, no, that's something that's always gonna bug me now.
Eh.
He can, like, spawn himself outside of Emu and then take Emu over.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
that technically he was the first Bugster,
Yeah.
but, what?
It's weird because the way that I understand it is that there's only a little bit of Parad actually still inside Emu,
Yeah. that
which
little-
is why Mighty Brothers can even happen. Because otherwise, it's Parad fighting himself and deciding to fight himself.
Yeah. Although now I'm gonna keep questioning early on, like, Parad was nearby and Mighty Brothers was also right there.
Yeah, it's a little shaky, which leads you to question if they even plan to have Parad be Emu's M personality from the beginning, but it's not that big a deal for a kids show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was heavily implied in the opening visuals.
I mean, if it's well written enough for adults to enjoy, but still, like, there are certain you gotta give them leeway that it is aimed at children, so they can gloss over a few things that get too technical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way I generally see about kids shows, is that if it, like, some things in a kids show it's okay to not bother with.
Yeah.
Minor, like, just a minor tangent here for a second. Everybody likes to think that kids shows should be written the same way as shows for older audiences.
No!
They don't really. Things need to be dumbed down a little bit for kids.
Yeah.
You don't need
Like,
to
yes,
talk
kids
down
are
to them, obviously, but
Yeah, no, kids are smarter than most people believe them to be, but don't throw everything?
yeah, with a kids show, sometimes it's okay to be like, that doesn't really matter here because it's a kids show. They're allowed to be a little bit
Unless
dumber.
you're the Voltron reboot, then that goes on.
Well, that's a Netflix thing, so they're a little more shaky about it.
Yeah.
But stuff like that with Ex-Aid, it's minor things that don't really matter all that much.
I'm genuinely amazed that, like, the doctor thing actually mattered.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the surgery between
Taiga.
Taiga and well, I knew Taiga, but can't remember his name.
Hero?
Yeah, Hero. That was legitimately intense for that little arc.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
They did
is
a
he
good-
going to sabotage it? I don't think he is, but he might.
Hero started off just kind of an irritating prick, but near the middle and end of the show, he got really good arcs.
Yeah, no.
He was like,
The
they were like, is he going to betray everybody, or does he actually end up proving himself? Because that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. The whole arc, the entirety of the Tattle Fantasy arc, or not Tattle Fantasy, Tattle
Tattle
Legacy
Legacy.
was really good. I mean, Tattle Fantasy's arc was really nice too.
Yeah.
That was also a really good suit.
Yeah. They didn't use it a whole lot because obviously they cared more about the snipe upgrade. Which, granted, so did I, because snipe.
I cared more about it because guns everywhere.
Kamen Rider Heavy Arms.
Yeah.
Walking missile silo.
Speaking of snipe, I am genuinely surprised that he lived through the show.
Right?
I'm genuinely surprised that everyone lived through the show.
I mean, Kiria died, but
You know what damn well what I
Dan
mean.
died.
Kiria and
Technically,
Dan
they
both
were-
died. But
Did you jump to that conclusion when he got stabbed and he was like had to go to surgery? You're like, oh well, he's dead now, I guess.
Yeah.
even if they didn't kill him there, I figured Cronus was gonna kill him at some point.
Alright, no,
Especially during the
here's the
freaking
thing.
Let Me Transform into Cronus Myself episode.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, if Taiga dies, this is where it happens.
But instead,
no,
Love
like,
got a boot to the face.
Like, when we got, like, the first scans for around that episode, the fucking magazine did not reveal shit about his fate. It just said, oh, he got stabbed in human form.
Yeah.
He might die and it isn't game over. That's actual death.
They did a pretty good job, I think, with death overall in Ex-Aid. They brought characters back, but with the whole thing about games and continuing,
can we all get the Kamen Rider surgery? Because apparently, if you get stabbed in the heart and have to go through major surgery, you recover in like 4 days.
Yeah.
Why not?
And apparently you also lived through getting stabbed in the heart.
Like, did he not have, what was it, a severed aortic valve?
I think so.
And
I
he
could actually
recovered in
go
like
check.
4.5 days.
It was because Game Creature Hand. Totally different. Totally different.
Somebody remember what episode that was? Because I can just go check right now.
I don't know, like mid-30s.
Something.
I don't know.
Keep talking while I look through this.
Have fun.
But like I said, generally I think Ex-Aid did a pretty good job with death. I saw people on Twitter that were talking about how like everybody's deaths don't really matter because they brought him back and everybody can be brought back. But I feel like if you're gonna go down that route, you're eventually gonna come to it's a fictional TV show and they're not real people.
Everybody was convinced that Kiria wasn't coming back because of the whole flowers thing, and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
No,
No,
he's
no,
I mean-
then Graphite came back and everything was up in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was likely they planned to keep Kiria dead, but
Uh-huh.
then they saw how popular he was, and they're like, we can probably write him back in.
Yeah, we can run him back in right after we tease his return in the Hyper Battle video.
I was there. Tease has returned about 8 different times. You mean?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, yeah, but end of the Hyper Battle video after the credits.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying in general though. They were like, "Hey man, he might be coming back."
What do you think the the initial reaction would have been if Laser Turbo had been revealed to not be Kiria?
Undying
Outrage.
screams of anger.
Burning the figures.
What if it had been that the dude from Snipe episode 0?
Fucking Maki or whatever his name is.
I still need to watch the second episode of that.
It's pretty good.
So do I, actually.
I'd be like, "Damn, dude. How?
Dude lived.
Why?
How?
Damn."
He's a bugster too.
No.
I mean, they
Apparently
could
he,
probably...
apparently he didn't actually die of the Bugster virus, but he still died on 0 day. Or
he
close
got
to
hit
it.
by a car.
Kamen Rider
no.
Laser Turbo is revealed
No.
to be
No,
salty.
no, that's right. Okay, minor spoilers for who haven't seen Snipe episode 2. He dies at the end of it by vanishing just after putting the belt on.
Oh, well, alright then.
So it might have been by the Bugster virus, but apparently he's not backed up anywhere?
No. He died from his specific stress or whatever.
Him dead is the point here.
There's
Yeah.
also was no Bugster from it, which is just weird as hell.
I blame Kuroto.
Always blame Kuroto.
Yeah, okay.
But my favorite thing when it comes to the deaths in Ex-Aid will always be how they decided that Christmas was a good day to kill Kiria.
No, okay, so that actually aired on Christmas in Japan. Now think about
Yes,
this.
I know.
There was some kid who opened up a gamer driver and got the Boxo bike and Giri and the
And he's-
thing,
And
and
he is
he died
excited.
that same
as-
day.
No.
There-
You gotta remember they also raise your expectations first because they got you all hyped up with the peep papa, peep papa.
Yeah,
peep
because
papa.
the
You're
beginning
like,
is
"Yeah,
the beginning is
yeah,
just a silly
Christmas."
Christmas episode.
Mood whiplash off the walls.
Yeah, the best part is that there was a story of a guy, like a Japanese dad on Twitter, I think, talking about how he was watching Ex-Aid with his son that Christmas, and when Kiria died, he saw all of the happiness just disappear from his son's face.
God.
And I'm like, that is a countrywide problem today.
Yeah.
Every kid deals with that.
Daddy,
That'll
what
be
does
some-
death mean? Oh
That'll be
my
some
God.
fun. That'll be some fun stories for kids in like 10 years or whatever.
Guess what Santa brought you? The death of one of your favorite characters.
Yeah, I think I feel like they probably weren't intending for Laser to be as popular as he was.
Yeah, probably not. He was made out to be a liar and a dick.
Yeah.
And
I
I,
mean,
think
they made
we
him-
get that's what makes characters popular.
Was he though?
I mean,
was
they
he
made him
actually made out to be that way? Because I didn't feel that. I felt
No,
like
no.
everybody
no, clearly what
believed
they
he
were
was?
going for.
yeah, like
And
everybody
it did
believed
not
he was.
work.
But
They started him out as just making him really unlikable, but then pretty quickly they gave him a sympathetic backstory, which at least
Yeah.
explained why he was the way he was.
yeah, he was offlandish, but like offstandish, but like at the same time they made him out to be the liar. You know, like he didn't really was honest with everybody. But
By
you
the
know,
way-
the story development that they gave him and everything, you were like, you had to accept that, yeah, he's a good person, but he puts on this face of, dishonesty and stuff that, he doesn't want to be dishonest with anybody, but that's just the way they make him out to be. So he's like, screw it, that's what I'll be.
By the way, I found out exactly what Taiga had.
Go
I'm
on.
reading this directly.
And how fucked was he?
The patient is likely experiencing cardiac tamponade as a result of a traumatic aortic rupture.
So-
right, aortic.
That, yeah.
Aortic vessel. Right, no, they
Erratic. Well, it was an error.
yeah, he ruptured his aortic valve. It's like a very serious problem, and he recovered from it in like.
Cardiac tamponade is the compression of the heart caused by fluid collecting in the sac surrounding the heart.
Also bad.
Yeah.
He's fine.
And then 3 days later, he's like, I can fight again. You're like,
I mean, to be
"No."
fair, Hero was like, you shouldn't do that.
By the way, apparently it's short term. It resolves itself within days to weeks.
2 weeks.
Just
So,
enough time for him to fight again. Perfect.
Yeah. Can't
Puts
keep a writer
pressure-
out of the game for a while.
tamponade
I-
puts pressure on the heart and keeps it from filling properly.
Boo.
The result is a dramatic drop in blood pressure that can be fatal.
Hand.
That reminds me, when they were starting to put death flags for Kiria, people were theorizing either he's dead or seriously injured and out of commission for a while.
No, I remember you refusing to believe that Kiria died.
Yeah, because we didn't see him get flowers yet, so I was like, I don't buy it.
And then the next day, oh, he has flowers now.
Yeah. And now I know that flowers are bullshit, so I don't trust anything anymore.
Well, yeah, thanks, Ex-Aid writers.
Apparently they did it for another show, but I don't remember which one.
Okay, so, yeah, no, Taiga would not have been on his feet in 4 days, actually.
Those of you listening who are new to Toku, flowers is the response that actors get when their character is no longer on the show.
Yeah, when they're done.
When they're
or
done.
when they apparently want to trick fans into thinking that they're done.
Yeah, and raise your hope up, and or dash it against the rocks. One
Although,
or the other.
like, I remember seeing this from, like, Graphite's actor's Twitter, or one of his accounts. Apparently him coming back wasn't planned at all.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I think it was just they're like, we can add another Bugster, so let's just bring back Graphite.
Well, if they hadn't have brought back Graphite, Parad would have been doing all that shit by himself, and that just wouldn't have,
Yeah.
wouldn't have worked for what they were going with the Game Deus virus and everything like that. Because Parad being the host just wouldn't have been as effective as it
Yeah.
was with Graphite being like, I'll use the virus and make an antibody, and
Yeah.
yeah, they brought him back as kind of a we need extra people MacGuffin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
We need
worked.
Bullshit
So
incarnate here.
it worked. So
We need bullshit. Here's your paycheck.
Yeah.
He got a nice little upgrade out of his return, though. That was a pretty,
That was a really neat form.
yeah, it was a pretty cool form.
It's also bright. It's also a weird ass shade of red-orange.
I liked it.
because Itoku has a goal of making everything hard to draw.
Yes. Unless it's a Showa Rider.
Oh, yeah, but
another
those are
problem
all-
entirely.
Those are fairly simple designs.
Yeah. And then you get to Shin.
Even then, Shin is.
Shin is not easy. I don't think you understand. He is walking SIC.
I mean, it's different, but it's still not like
He's just
all
he's
over
like
the
tiny.
place in its design.
Yeah.
There is a method to Shin's design. Something like Ex-Aid, even though it does have a method, is a lot crazier.
I will apologize for potential static because I have to move.
I
My
can
knees are-
probably cut it out a little bit, but
Yeah, let's hope. All right. It was something else.
the one other issue that I've seen people bring up with Ex-Aid, most of it is just with the whole death thing, but this is a more minor one, and granted one that I brought up a couple times with Ghost, the insert songs. How they only play for about 30 seconds at a time in a couple episodes, and you can't really hear them all that well.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, wait, what problem does Ghost and Ex-Aid share? And then you said insert songs. Remember, I went, no, there was at least
Well-
insert songs for Ex-Aid.
That's the way I see it. Is at least they exist, even if they never played in the show. They still would be there, which is more than Ghost had. But even still, I would prefer the songs being there and barely played to either not being there or being played to the point where I never want to hear them again.
If you want insert songs, go watch Symphogear, which is a whole other episode.
Yeah, that'll be a different thing.
That'll be a different series.
Maybe. I mean, I have another series for just talking about general things, so that'll probably be in there. This is just Toku.
Yeah.
What if Senfo got a live action?
Ooh.
That's a question
I don't
for-
think that'd work out so
That's
well.
a question for another day.
Yeah. That'll be a whole other hour-long video. What if Symphogear got a live action?
I was thinking of something just now and I don't remember what it was. Shit! Oh,
Although
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, you go ahead.
It occurs to me that even though we're doing this video on an Ex-Aid quote-unquote wrap-up, we'll probably have to do it again when both the movie and the V-Cinemas come out.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Hopefully, I'm hoping that the movies, or at least that some of the V cinemas clear up the ending for Ex-Aid, like whether or not if Hiro is reunited with his lost love, or if she actually got completely deleted, or
No, that's the thing. The true ending takes place a few days after the ending of the show.
Yeah, we know True Ending is the actual ending of the thing, and then
And then
V-Cinemas...
we also know the V-Cinemas take place a year or two after true ending.
all right,
Sweet.
cool.
Which now
But it's
gonna
gonna be a
begs
while
the
before we get
question,
those.
How long was poor old Kuroto stuck in a fucking arcade machine?
A long time. I mean, he's in prison, essentially.
Yeah.
No. Let's make that prison worse. He was stuck in fucking DDR.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. Great,
That's
music,
my life.
great
I don't know,
music
I
all
feel
the
like
time.
3 straight years of that being your life, you would just get so done with it.
3 straight years of Love Shine being stuck on repeat.
No!
I feel like by that point I had figured out some weird bugster way of killing myself.
Nah, Dan values his own life too much.
Yeah, probably actually.
Although you say that, you say that, but he was willing, like he lost, what was it, 20 lives just fighting Cronus?
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently close to 18 just by overworking himself?
Yep, and
That was a
then
great one.
like 60 or whatever getting
The vaccine.
Dr. Mighty made it.
Yeah.
Now, are we counting the reset
Don't
or
forget.
not?
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
because then counting reset, he lost a lot more. 'Cause
He
would
lost
have to-
close to 200 lives by the end of it. That's fucking
So-
impressive, actually.
Dan died a lot.
what does that do to the psyche? You know, like experiencing physical pain of death and then being reborn immediately afterwards. To a
I feel
normal
like
person?
Dan can't. I feel like Dan can't get any more fucked up than
Yeah,
he already is.
exactly. He was already outrageously fucked in the head.
To a normal person, though, yeah, they would probably just turn into Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ex-Aid,
Great.
Ex-Aid was good.
Solid show. I gave it a. Anybody want to do ratings? Because I definitely want to give it like maybe a 9 out of 10. Because
I don't really do number ratings, but when it comes to like my favorite Rider shows, I'd put it probably at 3 below Double and Gaim.
nice.
It's really good though.
I want to say Ex-Aid's up at, like, tied with Gaim and Decade for my favorite. Someone in the comments is gonna hate me now just because I said I love Decade.
Turns out they'll all be like, oh my god, someone else loves Decade. Ah!
There will be both. There, assuming anybody even watches this, but there will be both of those people. Somebody that says, "Fuck you, Decade was terrible," or "Thank you, Decade was great."
You know, I didn't hate Decade. I didn't.
I was mostly just kind of bored.
Yeah.
I had more of an ambivalent feel for it because, like, yeah, it's a lot of the cool scenes and stuff of riders fighting other riders was kind of like, you know, that little fan fiction wet dream, and then like the whole alternate universe thing is what bugged me the most about everything.
It's enjoyable personally to me. It's enjoyable enough just for Tsukasa alone,
Yeah,
even if the rest is lacking.
like
Onodera.
like I understand that Toei has access to all of the old suits,
Or
so
for the
that's
most
why.
part.
Well, yeah,
All
but
of them except Gills.
Rest in peace, Gills.
I like how, by the way, now with Amazon's Gills is 100% dead because we don't even have the Gills Raider anymore.
God
Poor
damn.
thing got turned into a shitty jungler.
The the Jug Raider is amazing.
But what I was saying, like, they have access to the suits, but they did not have the budget to bring back all of the previous actors. So, like,
no, there's also the
understand.
problem of some actors don't want anything to do with the show anymore.
Hi,
Yeah.
my name is Joe DeGeary.
Well, Joe has a good reason.
I mean,
He's
yeah, but even so.
He's basically the Eccleston of Kamen Rider.
I have
That
no
was
idea what
fun,
that
but
means.
it's a Doctor Who reference.
Oh, okay.
Because Eccleston, he played the Ninth Doctor. He doesn't come back because he did not enjoy filming his one season.
No, that's the thing though. He's apparently said that he would be willing to come back if they got the original writer for Kuga to come back as well. And Toei ain't on good terms with that guy.
And Toei's not on good. There's a lot of people Toei's not on good terms with anymore, like Hibiki's actor.
Yeah, I would say I recently found about that. I was like, huh.
No, he got fired.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's why we.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
So actors they definitely cannot get back. Basically, at this point, are just Joe,
And Hibiki.
Hibiki,
Kiva
So,
suit actor.
Kiva.
No, they still have him.
Yeah, he's going to be around until either he dies or he's too old to work.
No. He'll be like 90 and still trying to work. I'll be honest.
He'll be the suit actor for Kamen Rider June.
Yes. They can't get back Forze's actor because his agency is
No. They can't get him back. He wants to come back, but his agency
Yeah.
is telling him, no, fuck you.
His
yeah,
agency
like I
is
said.
dumb.
Yeah.
Masaki Suda isn't coming back
He
anytime
doesn't
soon.
want back.
Yeah, he apparently completely avoids questions about Kamen Rider in interviews.
Damn.
Like
I
he
don't blame him.
basically,
Damn.
like he's worse than Odagiri in that regard because he just doesn't even want to pretend it exists anymore.
At least Odagiri is willing to answer a couple questions.
Yeah,
We're probably not getting Tendo back ever.
no, he's
He
he's
might
big.
come back.
he's too high profile. He's said before that he's not particularly interested in coming back, but that he's not completely against
Against
it.
it. No,
He
said
also
he
runs
loved
his
it.
own acting. He also runs his own acting agency, so he can basically just decide whatever the fuck he does.
Get
Yeah,
Kagami.
Yeah, from what
We
I've seen in
can't-
terms of interviews and stuff, that Tendo's actor said he really enjoyed playing in Kabuto. So
Oh yeah, we can't get Kiva's actor back because he doesn't really care about acting in general anymore. He's more of a
He
music
wants-
guy.
he's like
We
music.
can't get Tsurugi's actor back because he was fired.
He was?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
no,
Damn.
he was caught fucking with idols.
Oh.
In
Yeah,
both
Tsurugi.
senses of the word.
yeah.
Thanks, Tsurugi.
Damn, man, he pulled a Drake.
I don't think we'll get him back anytime either.
Yeah.
Gakusano is questionable. He's starting to get really big,
Yeah.
so we might not get him back in a couple years. And
a couple of
once, and I think pretty soon we're not going to be able to get Spectre's actor back either.
Oh well.
No, his contract's almost up.
Yeah.
And nothing of value was lost.
I mean, at the same time though, it'd still be even bad writers every now and then. It's cool to see. Oh, well, it's nice that he came back.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't-
Nishime Shun probably wouldn't come back after his thing gets up.
We don't need syscons making cameos.
On the upside, we will probably get Watanabe Shu back because what else is he doing?
Pokemon variety shows.
That
I
poor
mean,
man. He looks so dead.
Yeah. I would be
Get that
too.
man some food in a cardboard box. He looks like he's not even living in a
Get
cardboard
that
box.
man some love. He looks like he hasn't
Get
been
him-
hugged.
Get him a sandwich, please.
We'll always be able to get Shotaro back.
Well,
That
yeah,
man's
he's always
willing
willing.
to come back. Even after he gets big, he'd still probably be willing to come back, and his agent would probably go, okay, yeah.
Same
Yeah.
with fucking Masahiro Inoue.
Yeah, Inoue's always willing to come back because
He knows
he loves it.
Giant.
He just likes
biggest
Toku
fanboy.
too.
He's
Yeah,
he's the real life version of Guy.
the actors that we can usually get to come back are ones that either loved their roles and also were are generally just big Toku fans.
Or B, Hongo.
Yeah, well that's just because he's synonymous with Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
I think he said before that he acts more like Hongo than he does himself.
That might be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I am Kamen Rider. Bleh.
Although I wonder if he were still alive, if we'd be able to get Stronger's actor back regularly.
Probably not. Probably
Oh.
for voice work, but
I'd still love him.
Well,
back,
yeah,
though.
probably not physical acting very often, but
You hear him say
like
stronger.
I
man.
know we can get Nigo's actor back for voicing, but out of suit, he doesn't want to be seen on a camera.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
What about
Blade's
Ka-
actor is kind of going through the same thing right now.
Yeah.
Kagami's actor? What has happened to him?
Kagami's actor came back for the belt commercial, so I think he's willing to come
Bring
back
him
for the
back.
show.
He
But
can
I
be
mean-
Kabuto. I don't
But
care.
I mean, like physically though, he's like.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got facial hair.
it looks weird.
Yeah.
He looks like Coxass now.
I'd say a lot of riders just have like old riders who just look normally young now just have some serious facial hair going on, so it's awkward. Like Shinji. Whew.
Shinji doesn't even look like Shinji anymore, man.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so weird.
Now I just wonder what Hiroki Ijima will look like in 10 years.
Oh Jesus Christ.
The dude's already
Oh.
fucking ripped, so
Yeah.
He just becomes Tanahashi, just without the long flowing hair.
that's just weird to imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your image for the day. You're welcome.
Anyway, this is going on 50 minutes, and we're basically
Rambling.
talking about Ex-Aid now.
We're
So,
rambling.
Yeah.
but yeah,
Mhm.
that's Ex-Aid. Good show. I don't think Ad actually gave his like general opinion
Oh,
on the
I
quality.
fucking loved it. Perez my favorite, and I'd totally watch it again.
Probably will rewatch it actually as the Blu-rays come out.
Yeah.
Put everything in a specific order and just go
I'm
through it.
still waiting for the freaking design galleries to show up on those. They haven't yet.
Eventually, maybe.
Everything's just in volume 4. Everything. Also,
But,
if they
that's-
release an art book for Ex-Aid, I'm dropping money.
Even if you don't have it,
Yes!
I will go into bankruptcy for an Ex-Aid art book.
Yes!
But yeah, that's it for this thing. I still don't entirely know what I'm gonna call it, but it'll probably have a title by the time it comes out.
Weren't you gonna call it Rubber Suit Reminisce?
Maybe, probably, but I still am just kind of brainstorming for any last minute ideas.
I still take credit for that.
Well, yeah, because it's your idea. And now it's on recording, so if in 5 years I try to claim that it was my brilliant idea, anybody can make me look like an idiot.
Remember that
I
time
will
when
make
it
sure
came
to
out?
do that,
Yep.
for that is my job as the pinnacle asshole.
Yeah, but that's it.
Alright.
The end.
All right. Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed our ramblings and incoherencies.
The game is forever.
I drew the thumbnail!
I'm just
It's-
here.
And that's the end.